Yo, Nappy, where are we? What are we doing here? What's up?
This is the FPV Enthusiast Podcast. This is episode one. We put the F in FPV.
So, look, F5 backwards. You get the idea.
That it?
There you go. All right, so we're going to try our hand here at FPV podcast, right?
Yeah, man.
So what are we
Um,
going to call this first episode?
this will be the humble beginnings.
All right.
I guess since I've been in longer, I'll lead off. About a little over 5 years ago, I was looking at A Main Hobbies. It's RC car store, and I saw like a little brush tiny whoop with some Spectrum goggles, some Spectrum box goggles, and a little cheap controller. And I thought it looked cool, so I bought it, and it was like 235 bucks. And I don't know. Then I've been hooked ever since.
So you said that was how long ago again?
It was like the end of 2018, and then I didn't fly too much. My first flight, I broke a prop like 30 seconds in, and I didn't have any props, so I had to wait like 2 weeks to get props again because I didn't know where to get them at except for A Main, and they were pretty slow at shipping. So yeah, then I mess around with that whoop all winter, and then come spring, in March or so, bought a 3 inch. It was a blade. I can't think what it was called. It was like it was a little 3 inch bind and fly 3 inch. I don't know. It was pretty cool. I think you found my video from the first flight, or it wasn't my first flight, but it took me forever to fly it to get like 30 seconds of flight time. And then once I did, I was so happy. I was hooked for sure. Then I was flying at some park.
You know, that was actually going to lead me into my question for you. So I did find your earliest YouTube video because I had to watch it. I had to see. And I was going to ask, was this your actual first time ever flying, or how long had you been flying before you had worked up the courage to actually post that video?
It's now well, I flew the tiny whoop pretty much all winter in my house. I flew it in acro mode, or not acro mode. What's the other one called?
Angle?
Yeah, I flew it in angle mode just around my house all winter. And then when spring came, I flew that tiny whoop outside a little bit, but it was brush motor, so like didn't do well at all outside with like no wind. Like if it was like 2 mile an hour wind, it wouldn't freaking hardly fly. But and then I got that 3 inch. In that first video, I'd probably flown. I flew it like line of sight because for some reason I thought line of sight would be easier. Just
Oh, man.
not. And then I almost got stuck in a tree out at my grandpa's flying it. And then I went to the park. I'd say that was probably, I don't know, that first video I posted was probably 10 tries, 10 different packs. And I don't know, maybe not that many, maybe five, I don't know, but and I was scared to change the channel on my goggles because I was scared if I switched channels it would mess up. And so that's kind of another reason I flew at line of sight, because I didn't want to like mess my whoop up and like not be able to connect to it with the goggles. So that was analog. So it was kind of different because I had all the whatever 48 channels or whatever. So yeah, I didn't like to change stuff that was working.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You don't want things to just stop working because you changed. So,
Yeah,
um,
I had no idea.
so we've been talking about this first video of yours. So let's go ahead and switch over here, and I'm going to go ahead and play this. It is 50 seconds. We can go ahead and run through the whole thing. Feel free to commentate over it. Walk us through what you were thinking, what was going on. All right.
All right.
All right. Here we go.
First off, if you notice, look at the pack. It's already like halfway dead. So that means I crashed a few other times, couldn't take off, hit the trees. And then I just remember like right here, I was like, oh my God, I'm flying.
I love
My
the music
kids,
choice, so epic.
yeah, my kids were somewhere close, and I remember like getting ready to land. I'm like watch where I'm landing, watch where I'm landing, because I had no idea where I was at. Which is like looks really simple right there. You know what I mean? Like I'm right by the park. But I was just so excited, and I think I actually came in. I might have put this. This landing might have been. I probably knew where I was at on this one, but that same day I flew more, and like I didn't know where I was at because I think I got more brave after that flight. I'm like I can fly.
And that I think is one of the hardest things about actually like your first flights is your spatial orientation. It is so easy to like lose where you're at.
You saw the trees. There's probably what 15, 20 trees there,
Yeah.
and like I would crash by one and not have a freaking clue of where I was. I didn't have a beeper set up, so I didn't know about them, and I actually had to like hold a button down or one of my switches. It was like a momentary switch, and like I would have to hold it down. Like I didn't have like my arm button or my arm switch. Like if you hit it, it would arm, and then to disarm, you had to hold it. Like if you let off of it, it would arm it again. And I didn't know how to fix it. I really didn't know what was going on at all. But I was definitely hooked.
Yeah. Just that, you know, being one of your first like successful flights, I just imagine the adrenaline and just like I'm flying. This is so amazing.
Yeah, it definitely was, man. It was awesome. Like I don't know, it was definitely a different. Like I guess how they say like if you try drugs or whatever, and like the first time you chase that high, all
Hmm.
the other times. I think that's it, man. Like I was just it was so cool. It was like a perfect day. It was like right around now, like it's April, whatever, 22nd or 4th or 26th. I was close. It was like this time of year. It was freaking beautiful weather. It was awesome.
And then moving on to next here, my first flight. So I started quite a bit later than you did actually. It was probably well into the COVID time. Late 2020, early 2021 is when I first started flying. I got the like Mavic Mini 2 first, and then started watching like drone videos and was like, wait, whatever this video is what I want to do, and this little thing can't do that. So then started watching some more YouTube videos and like, okay, FPV, so this is what I need to figure out. And that's when I came across Joshua Bardwell. I was like, okay, so this guy seems to know what he's talking about, and found his, at the time he had his Xylo Freakstyle like beginner build kit. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's a good place to start. So I bought those Sky Zone, was it Cobra S, I think, like the, not the black box goggles, but the gray ones. And that's what I had. And then I actually still have my Xylo Freakstyle frame here. Ended up breaking an arm on it, and honestly I probably could still just replace the arm and run this frame, but I kind of wanted to keep it as like a trophy. I'm pretty sure these motors are still good too, to be honest. But I kind of wanted to like keep it as like a trophy for like my first quad, and it was 4S, and I quickly moved on to 6S, and I think that's why I've not even tried to do anything with it.
I wish I would have kept mine. I don't know why I sold it. I think it's when I went digital. When I started going digital, I sold a bunch of stuff that I had just so I could get more money to put in for the digital.
Yeah, so I went a little crazy. So I started off, you know, with those box goggles, and then HD0 Fat Shark started coming along, so I got the HDO2 goggles next, which, funny story with that, after using the box goggles, which is you just kind of have that like screen in your face, going to like the two separate pictures, when I would put the HDO2s on, I would see two separate images, and the only way I could get my eyes to work is like take the quad, cover the camera with my hands, and slowly pull it away, and I swear to you, you would just watch the two separate images merge into one. It was trippy, it was weird, but it worked. And now I've never had that problem since. I guess that my brain adjusted to it or whatever, but
It was kind of weird. Like I remember going from box goggles my first regular goggles, or I guess, or whatever you want to call them, the dual screens, were like old Sky Zones. And I did notice that, like, I kind of saw the two screens, but it wasn't that crazy. Like, it didn't take me that long to adjust. Like, it wasn't anything major, but it did. It was like a little hiccup.
Then having those goggles, and I found the Fat Shark like HD Zero module thing that you could attach to it, and because I wanted to try out HD, HD Zero. Everyone was talking about it at the time, and found that the latency with that was kind of awful. So if you see kind of here in the background under my finger, this blue here, that's actually the box goggles for the HD Zero Fat Shark ones. So I bought that after trying with that module and having the latency. So I tried to go backwards to box goggles, and yeah, I just wasn't having that. So that actually just ended up being my spectator goggles for my kids if I'm flying HD Zero and they wanted to watch. Literally all I use those goggles for now.
Yeah, box goggles. I kind of like box goggles. I just don't like because they're so heavy and like they push down on your nose and you can't really put them up on your head. But I like how the screen was though.
So for me, I wanted to start with them because I was like, I wear goggles, if I wear these other ones that I didn't understand at first. They had like you can adjust the vision and stuff to kind of get your vision proper. So I thought, man, I'm gonna take my goggles off and everything's gonna look blurry. Why would I want to do that?
I had like my Sky Zone, my first regular goggles were like really, really old, but they had the built-in diversity. But they definitely didn't have they just had the what's it called, IPD adjustment where they would go in. They didn't have the you couldn't focus them or anything. I wasn't that blind at the time. I'm probably more blind than I was back then.
Comes with age. Then so after experimenting with those box goggles, found that wasn't the thing. Then the walk snail system started coming along. So I picked up the walk snail, what are they called? The Dominator goggles.
Yeah.
Tried that, and honestly, I do like them. I like the look of it. But the only quad that I still really keep for that is the I can't even remember what the VTX is called, but the low light one is amazing. So if I'm flying like it, pretty dark out, then I'll break that quad out and use that. But that's pretty much the only time I'll use those goggles. And the fit for those just aren't right for my face. Just a little too narrow.
I've never even tried them. I kind of want to try them.
Yeah, I'll have to let you try them out. And then shortly after that, so I flew those actually at Rampage last year. It was kind of like my main, what I was flying was the Avatar walk snail system. And everyone at Rampage obviously had the DJI 03 and all that, and it got me like, I want that. I really want it. So literally after Rampage, I went bought, what did I buy? I bought a refurbished Avata combo with the goggles. I was like, whatever, I'll take the Avata with the goggles, because at the time they were like, what, $600-700 for the goggles by itself anyway.
I flew analog for probably almost a year, about a year and a half. I flew analog, and I'm glad, man. It makes you appreciate HD, just the penetration and being able to see ghost branches and the ease, the setup's just so much easier with HD. I mean, I don't know about walk snail, but with DJI, I tried to hold out from DJI forever, and then I just got stuck. Every YouTube video was like, this is the greatest thing ever. This is the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, that's not that great. And then you couldn't watch a video without somebody bragging on DJI. And I was just like, oh, I gave in.
Yeah. I view them as the Apple of the whole FPV or drone world or whatever. And I have an iPhone, I have a MacBook, so it's kind of whatever. I'm already on the dark side. I might as well roll with it, right?
I mean, DJI is definitely the best. You might not like how they do business or stuff like that, but I mean, their innovation is unmatched in the drone world.
All right, so I did have to go and show off your very first YouTube video, so it's only fair for me to make fun of myself a little bit here too. Now, this isn't my first YouTube video I made. I think I don't remember, but this is actually my first attempt actually flying FPV ever. I wanted to make sure that I recorded this experience so I could go back
I wish
later.
I recorded mine, man.
Yeah. So a little context here. I'd spent at this point maybe 15-20 hours in the liftoff simulator learning how to fly and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
flying in the simulator, I learned that I can't fly the way everyone else flies. I'm backwards, I'm left-handed. That's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. So mode 3 is what I fly. So my throttle is on the right side, my throttle and yaw right side, and then pitch and roll on the left. And beyond that, and we actually see in this video, I was struggling with my pitch because I have to invert my pitch as well because my brain does not want it to go the way everyone else feels is like normal. To me, it just doesn't make sense. So, anyway, yeah, so that's kind of the background here. About 20 hours in the simulator, and I'm gonna find out that I forgot to invert my pitch here on the actual quad versus what I wanted to fly in the simulator.
I wish I would have simmed when I started out. I didn't even know anything about a sim.
Yeah, well, I mean, I found Joshua Bardwell really quick before I started, so, watching his, it's like, sim, before you even buy anything, see if you even want to fly by, flying in the sim. So I followed that advice and was like, okay, this is awesome.
I wasn't even into YouTube videos until I'd already been in for a while, like 4 or 5 months. I actually called Spectrum on the phone and they helped me set my controller up.
Good customer
Like I talked
service.
to a person. Weird. Thinking about doing that now.
All right, so here we go. I've got it skipped forward here. This is where I'm going to actually attempt my very first ever takeoff on a real drone. So we got the epic music, arming the quad.
Are you freaking out right now?
Yeah. All right, we've got liftoff. I'm like, okay, I'm in the air. This is awesome. This is awesome. Wait, what's going on? Crash and burn. So I don't know what was going on in my head right there in that moment, but it had taken off. I'm like, okay, I'm in the air. And I'm like, okay, what do I do now? And then it just dropped. Just no idea why. No, I just like, okay.
That's funny. You got the fire. That's cool too. I didn't have any editing skills when I started either.
So I had a little background with video editing. I hadn't done it in years, and this was kind of my excuse to get back into it. So obviously I reset and I'm like, okay, we got to try this again. I can't accept that. So here we go. We arm again. Feeling a little more confident. Like, yes, I'm going to get it this time. So I'm up in the air. I'm like, all right. And here's where I realize, wait, this pitch isn't doing what I want it to do.
You're going the wrong.
Yeah. So
Going backwards.
So as I pitched, I'm like, why am I going this way instead of this way? As I was grabbing the quad, I think I was talking to the camera, like explaining, like, yeah, I think my pitch is wrong or whatever. But I'm like, all right, I'm already out here. I've got some batteries. I'm just going to try and convince my brain to do it the right way for now, and then I'll just fix it later. So here we go again for another attempt.
So did you switch it up after this? Did you go home and change it?
Yeah, this was before I knew that you could just go into your radio and change it. You could just literally go in and just click a button and it inverts it.
I
So
would
it's-
never been able to figure it. I wouldn't be able to figure any of this stuff out when I was new. I would have had to make myself learn to figure it out, like by flying. Were you in angle mode there?
I might have been. I think I was trying to learn an acro, but it might have been an angle.
Dang, you're even on camera the first time too. That's cool. I vlogged and got on camera early, and my wife made fun of me, so I stopped.
So yeah,
No, I don't care.
this whole video was basically just me making fun of myself. Just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just see what I can do this first time out.
Yeah, that's cool, man. No, the feeling is awesome.
But I did get better a lot quicker. In fact, the very next time I went out, I had figured out and adjusted that whole pitch issue and was like, hey, I'm doing backflips and stuff now. I feel like a pro pilot.
Yeah, I remember when I could learn how to do rolls and flips. Like, I thought I was the coolest person alive. Like, I just go up in the air and just like hit there and smash the stick to the left or right, or and just do like 10 rolls in a row.
So yeah, that's my intro into FPV there. Hopefully you got a good laugh out of that, Nappy. Yours, I think, was way better than mine. But that being said, though, I want to hand it over to you, kind of talking about like what we want to do with this podcast and what we would like you, the viewers, to actually potentially contribute as well.
All right, yeah, I'm thinking it would be cool if we show some other people's new videos when they first started out, and then talk about the hobby and going forward as how they treat noobs. So the email address will be up here. I even have a cool pen or a wand. It's actually a paintbrush, but send us your email and then we'll go into more details, and I don't know, we'll see where this goes. Definitely let us know if you guys like this. Don't forget to subscribe to Hypnos. I don't know if we're going to do our own channel or just flip back and forth or how it's going to work, but this is just a test to see how it goes. What do you got, Hypnos?
Yeah, so exactly like Nappy was saying here, we want to see everyone else's introductions into FPV2 with this podcast. What I think both of us are thinking is we want to lift up the little guys instead of all these other videos and stuff that really focus on all the big pros that are just completely amazing and stuff like that. Everybody's got to start somewhere, so we want to recognize newer talent and really focus on lifting them up and showing what they have to offer, because I don't know about you, but like getting noticed by someone that you watched their videos for in the past, at least with me, I was like, man, I'm in their video, that's amazing.
That is cool.
And so yeah, I don't really know where else to go from there, but we do want to see your videos. We definitely want to show them off, so hopefully you guys show an interest and actually share with us in that email. If you have any ideas or things that you would like us to talk about, feel free to also send an email and give suggestions and stuff like that, because that would be really helpful to us as well.
Yeah, any ideas? We're just kind of winging it. This is something I wanted to do for a while, so me and Hypnos are talking about it, so we're making it happen. He's doing all the work. You just get to see my pretty face. I'm just chilling, having fun, and he's doing all the hard work. So thank you, Hypnos. That's cool, man.
Yeah, no problem. You call it hard work, but I call it fun. So this is what I love to do.
You're using all the I guess the thinking and using your brain, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, yeah, it looks good from here. But it is fun.
Yep. Hopefully everything looks good. Hopefully you like all the designs and stuff. We can play with that and update it more as we go too. So.
All right, cool, man. You want to say a line before we leave? Say something a cheesy ending.
We put the F in FPV.
That's perfect.